Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was a pretty abrupt end. Hey, thank you for joining me tonight. Welcome to the Burning River Browns Talk on the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. I am Lou Marconi at lmarconi251 on Instagram, at lmarconi1973 on Twitter X. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Some breaking news that just happened. I want to just take a moment to talk about this. The legendary Hall of Fame baseball player and Indians killer Willie Mays passed away tonight at the age of 93 years old. Wow. RIP. Truly a legend. One of the most amazing, you'd probably argue one of the greatest center fielders of all time. Great athlete, great man. He was a guy that did the famous catch over the shoulder basket catch in the 1954 World Series off the bat of Vic Wertz. I think it was game one of the World Series. That was at the Polo Grounds too when that happened. So it was an amazing catch. It's in the ninth inning. So anyway, great catch, great man, and rest in peace. I just wanted to make sure I got that out of the way because I just heard about it. Andrew Berry did an interview on NFL Insiders and talked about several things. Of course, he talked about Nick Chubb. Of course, he talked about Deshaun Watson, and he talked about Amari Cooper. Those are the three things that we have to talk about, and I'm going to. But there's also news of the Hard Knock show. I'm going to bring that up as well, and I want to talk about it. But before we go any further, and without any further ado, let's pause for a break. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, we're back. Very good. All right, it's time for a break. It's, it's time to break everything down. All right, this is interesting. Let's first and foremost talk about the Andrew Berry interview, where he specifically talked about Deshaun Watson, which said he frankly said he was ahead of schedule, which is something he usually wouldn't say. You could have said he's doing great. He's everything's going well, but he said he was ahead of schedule, which is interesting. Which means he wouldn't lie about that. He just doesn't like to give away information, which is interesting and it's great. That's great news. It's great news because we're going to need him. Most importantly, another player we're going to need is Nick Chubb, and he talked about getting the deal done with Nick Chubb and how Nick Chubb wanted to stay here, and the team wanted him to stay here, and they didn't want that play in Pittsburgh to be his last play as a Cleveland Brown. Perfectly makes sense. I think Nick Chubb is ahead of schedule too, but you didn't hear him say that. And it's just interesting because he really says things without saying nothing. Him and Kevin Stefanski have perfected this in a way. Then last but not least, I'm going to talk about the Amari Cooper thing because this morning I started noticing some negative headlines regarding the holdout, which is interesting because I didn't hear anything about this. And Dog Pound Daily considered the Browns' initial offer of the 1 year extension without guaranteed money to be disrespectful. I didn't hear there wasn't guaranteed money in that. My understanding, and I could be wrong and they could be right, is that the money isn't the issue, it's the years, guaranteed or not guaranteed. So I know they don't want to tie up a lot of guaranteed money in a receiver that just turned 30 years old, and they don't want to tie up a lot of years into that either. So he will be 31 next year, and he'll be 32 the year after that. So if you figure you have him until he's 31, he's under contract. He's not going anywhere unless we trade him. Okay. He's under contract. Another one, Gridiron Heroics, which is a website I never heard of, The headline says Amari Cooper's days with the Cleveland Browns seem to be numbered. This is obviously a site that's or writers for this site. They don't. I don't think they're that close to the Cleveland area or they're that close to the Browns. First and foremost, Amari Cooper, guy that wrote this, and it was updated on June 17th, which was yesterday. Amari Cooper was at the charity softball game for David Njoku last weekend. He held out of the mandatory minicamp knowing that he could get fined because he is under contract. He is. He's 100% under contract. He can get fined. The Browns didn't fine him. They could have, and they were well within their rights to. So they didn't. That's a good faith negotiating tactic. Mari Cooper holding out a mandatory minicamp could be a big deal. Probably won't be. Could a deal get done between now and when he has to report by July 23rd? Absolutely. That's over a month away. And people have to understand when you do negotiating that sides, there's offers and there's counters offers and there's another counter offer. It goes back and forth. And the Browns might have lowballed them a little bit on that first offer. But my understanding from the people in Cleveland and beat reporters that are around the team and with the team, I'm not talking about some guy on a website that I never heard of saying that his days might be numbered with the team. You heard the rumor of the Brendan Ngakoue trade, which didn't make sense for the 49ers to do, much less for us, because giving up a great leadership guy and a great locker room guy like Amari Cooper, I don't know how good of a leadership or locker room guy Ngakoue is. I don't. But I said that last night. It didn't make sense to me. But taking a step back here, for what I was saying, there's no evidence of that. One of three things. One of three things is going to happen. One, he comes in and he plays with what he has, and at the end of the year, he either becomes an unrestricted free agent and we move on, or he gets extended. Okay, sometime during the year. Two, he gets extended between now and sometime before the season starts. I don't see him missing training camp practices. I don't see the Browns letting it get to that point. He starts holding out on training camp practices, he's going to get fined $40,000 a day. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to do that. So I wouldn't, if I was him, I wouldn't do it. I don't think he will. I don't think his agent's going to advise him to. It was just a part of a negotiating tactic, and to sit out mandatory mini camps. We didn't fine them. They're trying to work it out. And from what I understand from the people that are in the know, when I hear from your Mary Kay Cabot's, your Tony Grossi's, your Jason Lloyd's, your other people that are around the team, that cover the team, that are in the area, not some website that I never heard of that could be hundreds of miles away, are saying that it's not the money, it's the years. The man's just turned 30 years old, which for NFL receivers, that is old. Guess who just said hi? Posh, thank you. Hello. So that's what I'm hearing from the people here, not from other websites. So even though a guy from the Orange and Brown report did state that, okay, he did state that the original, it was a 1-year extension. He didn't. He rejected that offer. They're still negotiating. So there's not going to be a lot of guaranteed money tied up towards Amari Cooper. The Browns are avoiding doing that. They're looking at the business side of it. Keep in mind, it's business, and it's business in the NFL. And sometimes business can get messy, especially in the NFL. But it's a long way to go between now and July 23rd. The third option that I was talking about, he can get traded. Who would want to throw out a lot of guaranteed money at a 30-year-old receiver? It is Amari Cooper. He is one of the best. Absolutely. Fantastic receiver, fantastic guy. I think he's got another good 2 years, 2 good years left in him easily. Don't forget, the end of the season, those injuries started to pile up. Bills think Buffalo would take him. Okay, but what would they give us? So we'll see. That's what I'm getting at too. So he could get traded. He could get extended and come in and play under the current deal that he has. Those are the three options. He's not holding out there in training camp. That would be it's called a hold in. They're there, but they're not really participating. They can't fine him for not being there, but he's not really going to participate much in drills or anything like that until something goes on. That could happen. But the date to look for is July 23rd is when the veterans report at Berea, and I think the next day they head to the Greenbrier. So it's getting close. I mean, it's already June 18th. So guys, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, there's a lot of negative the other negative headlines I saw were from Steeler sites, and they're making it sound way worse than what it is because they got nothing else. So it's that time of the year. Much appreciated. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. This is the Burning River Browns Talk on the Fanatical Elves Network, a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. A lot of great people here on the Fanatical Elves Network giving you Browns content. And I want you to remember, I'll be back here tomorrow night. I started a new time. I'm trying to do 9:40. Just I thought I'd change it up a little bit. Starting at a new time, 9:40, and I'll be back tomorrow night at 9:40. And always remember, when the river burns, it burns brown and orange. I'll see you tomorrow.